When should I use to or ing after a verb? I'm confused. Let's take a look. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Lloyd's Everyday English, the channel where I help to take your English to the next level with lessons like this one. If this is your first time here, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you would like to stay up to date with all of the lessons on this channel. I publish new lessons every week to help you. So, yeah. Better do that. Better subscribe if you want to. Today's lesson was actually suggested by one of the members in our private community. You can find out more information here. Trudy, thank you very much for the recommendation. And the topic for today is one that I think a lot of people will have probably had trouble with. And hopefully this lesson will help you. I've tried to write down as many different points related to this topic, so we will cover as much as possible. Now, what is the topic that we're talking about today? It is the difference between gerunds and infinitives. That's right, gerunds and infinitives. Firstly, before we get into the difference and how to use them, basically. So we're going to look at when do you use infinitives, when do you use gerunds after a verb. So we should probably just quickly review this. So what is a gerund? Well, a gerund is a verb which actually acts as a noun. So you take the verb, let's say, for example, walk, talk, bring, sing. I'm rhyming apparently. You would just add the ing onto the end there. Walking, talking, singing, bringing. Now, the important point is that this is not the same as the continuous, even though it looks the same, right, with the ing. So a gerund acts as a noun in the sentence. Let me give you an example. Okay, well, just to review this as well, continuous is be plus ing. So, playing tennis is a hobby of mine. In this case, playing tennis is the gerund, okay? Playing. So, playing or running or playing tennis or whatever the case may be. Studying isn't easy, but it will pay off in the end. Something pays off, it means you will have a good result in the end. So studying here functions as a noun, a gerund. Gerund is the same as a noun, basically, right? So we've changed the verb into a noun. It's quite magical, actually, when you think about it. Drinking coffee in the morning helps to wake me up, right? I could switch this I could just say coffee, right? Coffee in the morning helps me to wake up. So it's the action, but it's in a noun form. Now, the continuous would be different, right? So for example, I'm talking to you right now. So in this case, it is a verb to be doing something. I'm talking to you right now. That is a verb, continuous form. We're thinking about moving house. We're thinking, ing, but in this case, the ing is the continuous form. I'm going home. Okay, bye-bye. And remember as well, the continuous can also be used to talk about the future as well. So I'm going home tomorrow. I'm going home next week, etc. It's a very common way to talk about the future. So the continuous is not only right now, but it can be for the future as well. So I just wanted to quickly review that. And what is the infinitive? The infinitive is a verb, right, by itself plus to. Well, actually, the to is added on to the infinitive, right? So, for example, to drink, to talk, to wink, to whatever, right? These are the infinitive, okay? We have the bare infinitive, which is the infinitive by itself. So just walk, talk, sing, dance, and then you can add to on there as well. All right. Now, the question for today. Should the verb be followed by to or ing? To or ing? It's the million-dollar question. I know that it's very confusing for a lot of people. And so I've broken it down into some different categories. So, firstly, there are some words which can have the same meaning whether you use to or ing. So there are some words where you have the verb and then you could have the infinitive, to infinitive, or the gerund, and the meaning would be the same. Wouldn't change. You can choose. However, there are some words, which we will look at as well, where the meaning can change. So if you use the infinitive, it will have one meaning. If you use the gerund, it will have a different meaning. So you have to be very, very careful. Then there are some verbs only followed by to, or to infinitive, okay? There are some verbs which you cannot use the gerund after. I mean, you can, but it won't be natural. Likewise, there are some verbs that are only followed by the gerund, ing. So, it's pretty confusing, and I have some bad news for you. Some good news and some bad news. Now, the good news is that there are some patterns, okay? In some cases, which we will look at in a moment, there are some cases where you can tell if there should be a gerund or an infinitive. There are some rules. However, in many cases, you need to learn the patterns of the verbs. There's basically a list of certain words which are only used with ing, certain words which are only used with to, and you kind of have to just learn them. Now, the idea is that the more you practice, the more you expose yourself to English, the more listening, the more reading you will do, you will get used to the patterns. You will automatically, and probably there are certain words that you know already should be followed by ing or to. So the idea is there are some that you just need to learn, and learn the patterns, learn how they are used, and it will come from repetition and practice and exposure to English. So that is the bad news. I wish there was a magic way to remember all of them, but in some cases you just have to remember them, unfortunately. Okie dokie, so let's start off first with verbs which have the same meaning whether you use ing or to afterwards. So, here are some of the most common examples that I could think of. Maybe there's a few more as well, but these are some of the most common ones, okay? Like, hate, begin, start, attempt. Can't bear, I can't do that. No way. Continue, love, or dread. Dread means you really don't want to do something. Okay? So, why don't we take a look at some of these? I like cooking. It's not my story, but I like cooking. I like to cook. Now, these are basically the same. When it comes to words like, hate, love, there is technically a slight difference with to and ing. Maybe to kind of can emphasize maybe more of an obligation, okay? I don't like to go to the office. I don't like going to the office. But the reason I put them here is because when it comes down to everyday English, I would say they're more or less the same. They're more or less interchangeable. So I like going there. I like to go there. Begin talking, begin to talk. Start to watch the movie, start watching the movie. Attempt to pass the exam, attempt passing the exam. I'm going to attempt passing the exam, yeah. I can't bear to live without you. I can't bear living without you. Continue to fill in the form. Continue filling in the form. I love teaching you guys. I love to teach you guys and girls. I dread seeing my boss tomorrow. Luckily, I don't have a boss anymore, which is good. I dread to see my boss tomorrow. So, as you can see, you can use them basically either way. You can use to or ing. Yeah, I would say possibly ing is a little bit more common, maybe, if you were to choose one. What else do we have? Maybe swim as well comes to mind. Run. I like running. I like swimming. I like to run. I like to swim. So there are several words like this where you can use either one. However, this is where things are going to get a little bit tricky, maybe. Now, remember I said there are some words where if you use to or ing, it can totally change the meaning. So here are probably the most common examples of this. And actually, one of our members in our community, Ekaterina, hello if you're watching, Kate. Kate was very curious about how to use try, remember, forget correctly. So let me try and cover these. Firstly, stop. So stop has two different meanings depending on infinitive or ing. So if you stop plus ing, that means you quit or finish an action. So, for example, stop being so rude. I'm telling you to finish being rude. I should stop smoking. Not my story, but maybe a New Year's resolution for many people. They want to stop smoking. Now, if you could say stop to smoke, but that would have a different meaning. So if you say stop plus to infinitive, that means take a break from the original activity and do this new activity. So for example, I should stop to buy petrol on the way home. So what would be the difference there? Stop buying petrol, that means you won't buy any more petrol in the future. Maybe you now have a bicycle, or you've sold your car, or you want to save the environment. But stop to buy petrol means you were doing something else. In this case, you were driving home, but then you realized, maybe your tank is almost empty in your car, and you need to fill it up. You need to stop to buy petrol on the way home. What's another example? I could, I'm talking to you now, so if I said, if I stop talking, I'm not talking anymore. However, if I am talking to you and I stop to drink water, right? Take a break from talking to drink the water. Or if I'm drinking, I stop drinking, I finish drinking. Okay? So, hopefully that explains that. It's a little bit confusing, but if you think about it a bit, it should make sense. And then what else do we have here? We have remember. Okay? So remember plus ing is when you are talking about memories. So, for example, do you remember telling me that secret? Do you remember studying with me about a certain topic another time? Do you remember do you remember drinking that shot of whiskey last night? But then if we have to afterwards, actually changes the meaning. So remember to infinitive is when you are reminding somebody to do something. So just remember that as well. To make somebody remember, you are reminding them. Anyway, so remember to. This could be, you could be telling somebody else, hey, remember to do that. Okay. Also with forget, it's kind of the same thing. Don't forget to do that. Remember to do that. You are reminding somebody. Please remember to pay me back. Or with forget, don't forget to pay me back. And then with forget as well, if we're talking about memories, things that already happened, I keep forgetting what happened. I keep forgetting this grammar rule. Okay, I'm forgetting his name. What is his name? I keep forgetting his name. Okay, so it's a little bit different. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, what else do we have there? So we've got, hold on. Stop, remember, forget, regret, try. Okay? So we've covered stop, remember, forget. So don't forget is the most common way to say it. Or I often forget to I often forget to bring my keys. And then regret. This is slightly different here, regret. So if you say regret plus ing, then you are talking about something you feel bad about doing in the past. So for example, I regret shouting yesterday. I'm sorry. I regret shouting at you yesterday. I regret giving you my money. I regret trusting you. So regret plus ing is about something you feel bad about in the past. This is the most common way to use regret. Now, if you say regret to, there is a way you can use it, but it's very formal. Okay? So for example, I regret to tell you. I regret to tell you that you're fired. Get out. Or I regret to inform you that the event has been cancelled. Okay? I regret to tell, to inform, what else for regret? Those are the main ones, I think. Yeah. Regret. Yeah. So when you have some bad news for somebody, you regret to tell them that. But it's very formal, it's kind of a specialized thing, and not really something you're going to use in everyday speech. Now, here's a very interesting one on the end. Try. And I was trying to remember the difference between them. I would say, just before we get into the difference with try, even though there is a difference between try to and try plus ing, in everyday English, I would say they are quite often used interchangeably. But there is technically a difference, which you should know. If you want to be accurate, then you should know the difference. But also you should know that native speakers, including myself, native English speakers, do quite often use them interchangeably, okay? Because they are very similar, but there is a difference. So, hold on. So the first one is try to, okay? So try to means you attempted to do something, you used effort, but you didn't succeed, okay? You tried to do something, didn't succeed, okay? For some reason, you were not successful. And then try plus gerund, ing, means you did the thing. You do the verb. You do the action, okay? However, the result is not what you want, if that makes sense. I know it's a bit confusing. Let me give you some examples to try and help to understand. So, for example, I tried to talk to her, but she was too busy. Okay? So in this case, that means I did not have a conversation with her. I was like, hey, Mary, I need to talk to you. Let's have a chat. She's like, no, I'm too busy now. I'm on the phone. I can't talk now. Not now. Let's talk later. So I was unsuccessful. We did not talk. Now, I could say, in this case, I tried talking to her, but she wouldn't change her mind. Now, in this case, with the ing, that means, let's say it's Mary, okay? Mary and I had a conversation. We did talk. However, the result was not what I wanted, okay? I was trying to change her mind about something. I tried talking to her, but she wouldn't change her mind. I tried talking to her, but she would not sign the contract. She would not see my point of view. Okay? What else could we say? I tried... what else could we say? And feel free to leave your own examples in the comments. I tried to open the window, or the door, but it was too, I don't know. It was too difficult to open it, right? It was stuck. I tried to open the window, but I couldn't. So this shows the effort, but it failed. If I tried opening the door or the window, that means I did open the door or the window, but maybe I could say something like, I tried opening the door, but the bad smell didn't go away. So the end was not what I wanted. It was unsuccessful, the ending, even though I did do that thing. So there is a difference. What I would say as well, as I've said already, is that you will hear people kind of mix them up. So like, for example, I tried talking to her, but she was busy. I tried opening the window, but it was still a bad smell or whatever, right? Even though it's not technically correct, you will still hear that. Whew, okay. I tried explaining it to you, and I hope it helped. Now, let's look at some words which are only used with the gerund. Okay? So you might want to take a screenshot, write them down, or maybe I can make a document for you later. Let me know if you want that. But these are some words which are only used with ing. If you use to infinitive after these words, it's not going to sound good. Okay? You should only use ing. And as you can see, the list is not over. So why don't we go through them? Enjoy, admit, delay, recommend, suggest, deny, finish, mind, avoid, escape, dislike, give up, miss, can't help, can't stand, imagine. I was about to sing John Lennon. Practice. Fancy. Fancy means you want to do something, right? It's kind of British style. I fancy going there. Put off, consider, feel like, risk, keep on. So why don't we quickly look at some examples? I enjoy teaching you guys, right? If I said I enjoy to teach you, doesn't sound good. Okay? Does not sound good. All right? But admit, he admitted lying to her. He admitted to lying? No. Too late? No. Delay, telling the truth. I don't know why everybody's lying in this example. I recommend going there. You could also say, I recommend that you go there. But we're talking about to and ing here. He suggested giving up. Denied stealing the money. Finish. You get the idea, right? So these are followed by ing. I miss talking to you. It's been a while. I feel like crying, or I feel like giving up. Keep trying. Keep on trying as well. And that actually brings me to another point there. So keep on, keep plus the preposition. Now, gerunds, here I did tell you there was some good news. Okay, there is some good news with this lesson. So one rule that you can remember is that you always use a gerund after a preposition. To, on, around, about, after. Okay, you have whatever the preposition is, you should use a gerund afterwards. Okay. You should admit to committing the crime. You should admit to commit the crime? No. You should admit to committing the crime. We should think about changing our plans. Think about, with the preposition, gerund. Okay, so that's a nice rule that you can remember. You see a preposition, I should use a gerund. Now, here is a list of words that should only be used before the infinitive. Okay? For example, afford, agree, ask, choose, continue, decide, demand, fail, help, hope, intend, learn, manage. I hope I manage to finish work in time. I've decided to change my city. I will continue to work hard. Continue working. Although actually maybe continue could be with ing as well. Continue working hard. I will continue working hard. Ignore that one. That could actually be with ing. I will choose to tell the truth. I will choose to not get disappointed if I fail. I demand to see the manager. I fail to understand what you're talking about. Please help me to find a delicious restaurant. Okay. I hope you understand. All right. So these words here, are followed by the infinitive. Okay? Again, you just need to remember them, get used to the patterns, get used to seeing them and using them in conversations. Here are some other ones. Mean, need, offer, plan, pretend, promise, refuse. These are followed by the infinitive only. So these ones and these ones, maybe you want to take a screenshot. These are only followed by the infinitive. I need to talk to you. Doesn't sound good. Don't pretend to be angry. Don't pretend not to be angry. Don't pretend to be someone else. I promise to change. I refuse to accept your behavior. All right? So these words, you wouldn't use, let's try and use the ing here. I need saying sorry? No. I plan changing? No. I plan to change. Pretend being? No. So you would need to have the infinitive after these ones. I promise. No. I promise to do this thing. Okay? I promise doing this thing? No. Let's move along, shall we? So, okay, yes, another one here. Another rule for you that you can remember with infinitives this time. Now, infinitives are often used after adjectives. So if you see an adjective, then probably you should use an infinitive after that. For example, it's difficult is the adjective here, to imagine a world without the internet, right? Can you imagine a world without the internet? No YouTube, no English TV Live, no Lloyd's Everyday English? Terrible. It's difficult imagining a world without the internet. It's difficult imagining. I mean, maybe you could say that, but I would say it's better with the infinitive here. It's wonderful to watch my students' English improve. It's wonderful watching. Again, I would say that you could use either one, right? But it sounds a little bit better with the infinitive after the adjective, okay? Now here is a fixed rule. A fixed rule is if you use a modal verb, so I'm talking about could, would, should, etc., then you must use the infinitive, specifically the bare infinitive, so not with to. Remember, the bare infinitive is when you take away to, the infinitive is naked, the bare infinitive. Then you must use it after a modal verb. I would stay and talk, but I'm too busy. I would staying and talk? No. I would stay and talk, but I'm too busy, sorry. He could see into the future. Ooh. He could see into the future? No. We might visit our parents tomorrow. Maybe. So I think you might know this one already. It's probably pretty natural for you, but it's a good one to remember. And the last one that came to mind for today is the difference with used to with infinitive or ing. They have different meanings. So if we say used to, then we can talk about a past habit, right? With the infinitive. So I used to be friends with that person. I used to live in that city. I used to have more energy than before. I used to work harder, or I used to study Italian in school, but I've forgotten most of it now. However, if you say used to plus ing, has a different meaning. In this case, it would be to be used to doing something. It means you are comfortable with it now. Maybe in the past it was difficult, was uncomfortable, but now it's no problem. For example, I'm used to recording videos for you. You know, at the beginning it was very tricky and technical and difficult. And it's still not totally easy, but I'm kind of used to it now. I'm kind of used to, or getting used to it, you could say as well. Maybe you are used to living in your city. It's been a while. You're used to, whatever the case may be. Something is comfortable for you now, you would use ing. But it used to with the infinitive is a past habit. Whew. Okay, so we have covered a lot of different ways that you can use to and ing. Remember, there are several cases where they're interchangeable, but there are ways where they have different meanings if you use one or the other, and there are several cases where you can only use ing or you can only use the infinitive. So if you found this video useful, make sure you give it a nice thumbs up and rewatch it as well, so that you can make sure you have got all of the different ways that you can use it. Make sure you've maybe made some notes or some screenshots so you can remember the differences, especially for the words, that list of words, which can only be used with either one. And most importantly, probably, is that you practice in the comments below. Practice in the comments below. I will check your comment and let you know if you are using the sentence correctly or not. Using the sentence, writing the sentence correctly, using the to or ing correctly or not. But thank you so much for watching, everybody. It's been a pleasure to talk to you as always. Hopefully this lesson did not go on for too long, but hopefully you learned something new, and hopefully you're not going to make any of those mistakes that you were making before with this grammar topic. But until next time, everybody, keep well, stay safe, as we have to say right now, and I'll be back again very, very soon. Bye-bye.